Welcome, everybody, to the Detonated YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about this tweet, which may have actually broken the internet. But let's talk to the person who actually made the tweet, Detonated co-owner himself, Mr. Fajardi. How are you doing today, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great. And I'll tell you what, I did not think that this tweet, of all things, would have caused the, for lack of a better term, shitstorm that it caused. When the Season 4 Reloaded blog post came out, obviously, as I do, I spam out the most important topics. And one of those topics was this tweet right here, and it reads as follows. First look at the cell-shaded Liberty Falls in Black Ops 6 Zombies Season 4 Reloaded. Available during the Beavis and Butthead event. Defeat the Mo Abomination. And the rewards include a special calling card and more. So when I put this out, I was like, cool mode, whatever. And the screenshot attached to this tweet is what got everyone dogpiling on this specific mode, and even Black Ops 6 Zombies as a whole. And I'm sure it's up on screen now, and it basically features all 4 Beavis and Butthead operators on the cell-shaded Liberty Falls with the Abomination, and it's just, and there's like watermelons on the ground, it's like the zombie snack stuff. It's a very interesting screenshot, to say the least, but I didn't necessarily think anything of it when I put it in. I was like, whatever, and it wasn't doing that well for the longest time, like maybe like 100 likes, whatever. And all of a sudden, I look back and I'm like, bro, this thing has like 4 million impressions. What happened? And it turns out that this tweet, for some reason, became like this massive focal point of like trashing on what Call of Duty has become, which is unreal to me. And I'm sure you were just as shocked when we started going through some of the replies and the quote retweets to it.
So to make things clear, something that Zombies has done within Black Ops 6 that we didn't really see at all much before is we're beginning to see crossover LTMs within Zombies. It's not just multiplayer or Warzone anymore. So I think even though the rewards have been pretty lackluster over the last couple of seasons with some of the crossover LTMs in Zombies, it's a nice change of pace to see that Zombies is getting some support at the very least. And the thing about this mode is that it likely won't be live until any later than, I want to say, August the 7th, which is the launch of Season 5. So it's going to be a mode that's barely live for maybe a month, maybe even a bit less. It certainly does not define the current era of Call of Duty Zombies because, again, it is a limited time experience, but that's not to say that I'm defending all of these modes either because, as I've mentioned many times before, I think a few of them that they've done in BO6 Zombies in particular, I haven't been the most fond of, right? In particular, zombie snacks, which this mode is a reskin of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I think we're both sort of like holding our breath and seeing if it's fun. It seems like a cool sort of spin. I think just the more of the objective is what I'm looking for, the HVT Abomination. But yeah, people just have been absolutely dogpiling on this, and we'll start with some of the comments right now.
So what I'll say as well is, look, I mean, a lot of the previous crossover LTMs have just really been, hey, survive on the same map that was already live just with new modifiers, and that's it. Get a couple gobblegums for doing so. At least this mode is, hey, here's like a big HVT boss that's probably hard to defeat, and a lot of the information about the mode was kind of just put in the patch notes. They weren't even in the initial Reloaded blog post. So again, not saying this is going to be the best mode ever done for COD Zombies, but I think there is at least going to be some level of challenge and replayability behind it, apart from just, hey, try to beat the Easter egg with these modifiers enabled. Nothing that, like I said before, really caught my interest all that much within Black Ops 6. So right as the screenshot got posted, I know, there were some replies here and there, but then things started to go extra viral. And I get it, this is a very odd screenshot. It's a cell-shaded Liberty Falls. Every enemy from every other BO6 Zombies map is in the screenshot. Then you have Beavis and Butthead kind of running through it. I mean, you can look at any crossover image from even like a game like Fortnite or even a crossover event in Call of Duty, and you can look at these images and say, oh, I can't believe this is so-and-so game in the year 2025. This is what gaming has become. And most of the time, it's just kind of impression farming on Twitter or whatever social media site that gets posted on. Because, yes, it is crazy to see that in this decade, right now, this second, there are some wacky collabs going on, and oftentimes they work, and it creates, a fun little limited time experience for people to kind of jump into. But some of these replies were just unreal to me. I mean, you can look at a few of these right here. First off, from Rock Solid, when you realize you're no longer their target audience. The thing I'll say about this, although it is a pretty funny post because you didn't have a Duck, Nicki Minaj, or a Wubs and Friends Teletubby operator back in, the OG COD era, still, I think what Activision is probably trying to do is double dip. Let's cater to that hardcore audience that likes milsim, tactical, militarized type gameplay, and let's mix that with people that are looking for more of the colorful, flashy, wacky, collaborative skins that other games out there have successfully implemented. So I think CODs is trying to double dip and not necessarily replace the standard foundation of what has made Call of Duty successful today.
So the next comment we have here is actually from the Act Man himself, who actually made it onto the thumbnail of this video, because it's hilarious, his response to this. He just quote retweeted it and just says, straight up, I want to die. Very, very interesting comment comes from him, but, that was kind of the general sentiment around every single one of the comments. People comparing it to Fortnite, people comparing it to Gary's mod, and you can go through the comments on every single comment is negative about this. It's unreal. So if you ever want to go through something and just read some funny comments, this is definitely the post to go do it. And there's another one here where someone said, quite possibly the most beautiful video game screenshot of all time, which is actually, I think, in my personal opinion, a sort of a sarcastic take on the most liked tweet, which amassed over 110,000 likes by a man called Sea Pickle.
I think it was a sarcastic rebuttal, a purposeful rebuttal to, a post that has gone absolutely viral. I mean, you're talking 3 million views on this. And like I always say, everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's not our job here or my goal on my channel either to ever, sway you one way or the other. Just trying to inform you. That's all, that Aided Outlet's all about. That's what I try to do in my regular content. But, oftentimes things like this will happen where, a post or reply goes viral. So it's always funny. Thank you all for the support. But with this quote post, it says, quite possibly the ugliest video game screenshot of all time. Again, people can think what they want. If that's the image that they think is the ugliest in gaming history, sure. If anything, it probably just brought more attention to this update and the mode. The only thing I'll say is it's kind of unfair that people almost look at this as like the main Zombies update for Black Ops 6, or like this is DLC 4. It's like, no, it's just a little silly limited time mode that's not going to be in for that long. So people that kind of dog on this were probably the same people that were asking for more collabs or more content updates in between major round-based map launches, which is all this really is. Just basic filler. I mean, could be pretty cool, but it's filler as we wait for August 7th and The Reckoning DLC 4. So, this person can feel how they want, and that's fine. I think hundreds of thousands of people may agree with this, may not. Either way, it's crazy to see the attention this brought, and hopefully could help boost the popularity of Call of Duty Zombies even more as we enter the finale in August.
I think the biggest takeaway in general for this entire fiasco that happened is that, people are going to be upset with the collabs, I think, regardless. And I think this one's kind of a low-hanging fruit, in my opinion, to sort for this outburst to happen. Even though it does fit the 90s theme, it does fit the era in which the game takes place, I think it was just a little bit unfortunate timing. But that is one of the most controversial images we've probably seen in a long time for Call of Duty. And I wonder if the comments of this video will also be filled with similar comments of the tweet that we went through today.
Right. I'm really curious to see the reception of that. I'm just a little worried that maybe even the studio or higher up saw that viral reply and were like, you know what, let's go ahead and just not do any type of collab content ever again in Zombies. And then you see Black Ops 7 just refuse to do it. And if that means that maybe some other attention goes to like Onslaught or another Outbreak or some other serious modes, then fine. But I wouldn't want it to be a case where Zombies just starts getting less content again and bigger droughts in between major round-based map launches because of the echo chambers of social media. But I'll tell you what, if the studio's seeing a lot of good numbers on some of these LTMs and collab type experiences, I don't think they're going to be going anywhere necessarily. And even when the studio wants to do a serious collab, like with Squid Game, or let's say they do Resident Evil eventually, you'll still have people saying, oh, that doesn't belong. Even if the actual property existed in the era the game is based on, people will still complain. Like you said, you're never going to win. So at this point, we'll see how well received the mode really is. I mean, the starting room challenge sounds great, and that's coming out soon.
Yep, that sounds very good.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be fun. So we'll see how these play out. I mean, people could argue, hey, the resources are going to these extra modes when DLC 4 could have came out sooner. Totally a valid argument. I get it. Or maybe all the resources from the LTMs this year could have went towards like an extra DLC round-based map. I hear you. I'm with you because Deadlight Greenlight wasn't a mode I was too fond of. It really did lack some content, but the LTMs have been getting a bit better for zombies. So let's at least give it a chance. Either way, I think, like you said before too, COD is kind of like that low-hanging fruit for people. They can easily hate on it, easily dog on it. The minute a mistake happens, people are on it with these viral posts on social media. So this is likely just the beginning of posts that we'll see like this as more and more collabs do release.